You're listening to Challenge Chase Podcast, the only podcast that doesn't wipe out on treadmills. Welcome to the Challenge Shakes Podcast, the hottest challenge shakes on the internet. I'm Joe Puglisi, accompanied by Brian Smith.
Yes, sir.
And we are here, episode 12 of Final.
And we still have not an end in sight.
No, not even close. I believe you said to me today there are 11 active teams right now still?
I believe 11, yes.
Is that including... Is that actively here? Is that also including a potential team that may be returning or showing up in the next couple episodes?
Oh, God. You do the math. How many teams were there in the challenge? Like 8?
Something like that.
And there's 3 in Redemption. And then that could... Oh, my God. That might be 12 teams.
It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is, in short.
These people need to go home.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's
straight up.
There's 11 teams. Because the 15 original teams, plus the 2 mercenaries, plus, and then 5 teams have gone home, plus the DQ, so that was 6. So it's 11. So there's 10 teams right now, and then 1 coming in.
That's a bunch of crap.
For episode 12.
Yeah, just about, let me jump into your brain a little bit. How many seasons were longer than 12 episodes?
Longer than 12? Like maybe 4 or 5. All recently. No, I believe Bloodlines was the first season that was even more than 12 episodes.
How long was that, like 14?
13.
13?
Yep. And then Rivals 3 was like 14, and then Invasion was 15, and then Dirty 30 was the biggest one at 17. Mm-hmm. Last season was like 14, so this one is gonna go way surpass that. But we're here now, not in the future.
Sure are. And it was good.
I liked this episode quite a bit.
It was to me it was nothing crazy. There's been no bangers in my opinion this season yet, like there were in Vendettas.
This is about as close to a normal challenge episode ever, where you get the elimination, and then you get the challenge at the end. That's the way it's going to be now. Yeah. But at least it was all there. You didn't get any cliffhangers or anything like that.
Yeah. So. It went through the full rotation. However, it still felt like slow motion. And I think the reason behind that is I believe the challenge itself came online at 9:45 is when it started.
So it seemed like a cliffhanger. Yeah,
it seemed like they were going to cliffhanger it. And just in general, that left 45 minutes for elimination and fallout and voting and everything that happened post-challenge from the previous episode. So that got a lot of time, and that's probably why it still felt a little slow, because they really seemingly rushed the challenge at the end. But it was a kind of challenge that can be rushed. Because there wasn't a lot to it,
especially if you're it actually was one of those where like the team that won did it so fast, and then the team that was last just didn't have a clue.
Yeah, one of those, kind of like the first challenge of the show.
The digging the hole.
Yeah,
the very first. Yeah,
a couple of them pulled that out immediately.
The other ones were there,
and then there was
dark.
3 that were just screwing up. Two of them, 2 or 3 that were screwing up hard.
Jenna and Brittany were really screwing up on that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So the episode kicks off with a night at the club, which these things always go well there, and then when they go back to the house, some shit's gonna go down every single time.
Yeah, it's either shit goes down at the club or shit's gonna go down after. Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't get aired.
That's why these club scenes, we weren't getting many in the beginning, but now we're getting one like every episode.
Yep, they got nothing better to do now.
So Tony's talking about his partnership with Bananas. Now he's good. He's happy to have him. He thinks Bananas is the best politician in the house, which maybe in past seasons, but I don't know how...
No, he's right.
Well,
he's not right. As of this season, there are more people in control, but he can still correctly state that Bananas has the best political game in the house.
True, off his track record.
He's being countered quite a bit this season, but there's no doubt that he has a better political game than anyone in that house.
And Nelson, of course, fears that because of all this drama with Shane, that he's going to be a target by Tony and Bananas. So he goes up to Tony, and all he wants from the man is a heads up.
That's all he wants.
All he wanted was
this is classic Nelly.
Yeah,
just trying to man up in everything.
He's just trying to be a good dude, and didn't approach him aggressively. Just nicely asked, if you're gonna put me in, just give me a heads up. Of course, and I don't know if Tony would have done it or not, but Bananas definitely, that's not something he would ever do. Which of course is hypocritical on his end because he was mad at Tony last season for not giving him a heads up.
No, yeah, classic Bananas.
Tony didn't even pack his stuff up for that elimination loss against Devin. A great story that came out from there afterwards. He was so confident he wasn't getting picked.
That's just stupidity.
That's why you strike when the iron. That's it's called striking when the iron's hot. Bananas didn't even have it in his head that he was going to go in that night, and it really threw him off. You got to do.
Are you thinking if he was in the zone that he was going to be Devin?
I don't know, but it's just another thing, like the element of surprise.
Just keep in mind, if he was in the zone, he only lost by 3.
Yeah, it was only a few lights.
So if he was in the zone, that 3's not a lot. That could have.
So we get the ongoing drama of Ashley and Hunter that spilled over from the end of last episode. They are not communicating very well. Hunter is not happy Ashley basically told Jose straight up that Hunter hates her. Hunter doesn't trust her over lying about the whole Kyle situation. Freaking Kyle's been the root of so much bullshit this season. I can't even believe it. Not even that directly. Like he's just causing friction.
It's all just so much indirect crap.
Yeah. So we go back to the house, and Ashley is upset in her bed. I don't know if they said she was crying, but it didn't look like she was.
No, she was.
She was. She cheered up pretty quickly then because I didn't see her.
No, it's because she did. She was like crying a little bit, and then people started talking to her, and she kind of chilled. But then once like Hunter left the room and stuff, Sylvia was like, "Is this your crying face or whatever?" she said, and she was like, "Mm-hmm," in a mopey thing, and then she covered her. She was crying.
Yeah, well, and then in her confessional, she turns this into a whole double standard argument, which is definitely true, I will say, because that is something that happens on this show. Is the guys definitely get away with a lot more when it comes to hooking up. I mean, just look at Kyle this season. Perfect example.
Yeah, Kyle is just skating through it. No one cares.
Like the guy that's really been fucking with her and playing with her all season is Kyle, but she's more concerned about fighting with the girls that he's hooking up with.
Yeah, I don't know how he's so good at this. Good at getting away with things. This guy could get away with murder at this rate.
Yeah, Kara's still in love with him. It's obvious. And which is weird because I feel like their relationship on Vendettas was like, I don't know if I've touched on this before in a previous episode because we talked about this topic to death, but it didn't seem like they were that. It seemed like more of like a kind of a showman's hookup type of thing more than like an actual real like connection. Now he did visit her in Boston, so there was that. But I don't know. Did you get that vibe from them last season? That they were that close?
No, and I also get the vibe that Kyle just wanted to check out Boston.
So he went and hung out with Devin when he was there too.
Yeah, he just wanted to check out Boston.
All right, well, moving on. Hunter. So Ashley's kind of getting consoled by her lavender ladies here. Again, Shane not involved in any of the drama. So this is two times in a row where Nelson must have put him to bed right off the club. He's like, "Do not start any shit. Go to bed. Stay out of this mess."
Mm-hmm. He probably tucked him in.
Yeah. Hunter tries to come over and
put his little helmet on.
Hunter tries to help, and they just tell him, "No, Hunter, go the fuck away. You're going to make the situation worse." Then Hunter goes in the room with all the guys and drops. This is what he says, and quote, "If this stupid bitch cost me my money, I'm coming for her family."
Now, this is something that either A, should not have been aired, or B...
Of course it should have been aired.
Or B, if you're going to air this is when you put those advisories at the end of the episode. This man just threatened to bring harm to this girl's family. This was too far, and it got swept under the rug because people like Hunter. If Camilla said this, no one would have let this go for years.
Yeah. And, well, I don't know what the reaction has been to this online just yet. We'll have to wait, but...
I'm sure everybody forgot about it.
If people are forgetting about it, then frankly, that's quite...
Honestly, I forgot
You're
about
only
it.
proving Ashley's point right about how there's this sexist thing going on.
I never said that she was wrong.
Because if there's like the excuse, what's the excuse? That Ashley's been dramatic and he's annoyed by her, so that makes it okay?
Yes, that makes it okay to come after her family.
I mean, not that it makes it okay, but like it makes it like reason, like oh, he shouldn't have said it, but in the moment, but I can understand his frustrations.
Yeah,
like okay, be frustrated. You don't have to bring up people's families.
Yeah, this is just a bunch of. This is.
And I know Amanda brought up the horse last week, and that was fucked up too. But this was even worse. Than that.
Yeah, that was fucked up. But we're talking about a horse and somebody's family. You know, put those two on either end of a scale, and one it's gonna tip one way.
And this was a threat. A threat is where I know I'm comparing two pieces of shit things here, but saying I hope versus I will is a little bit different.
Is a lot
different. Because you're literally threatening. Amanda didn't threaten the horse. She just said, I hope it dies. Hunter literally said, I'm coming for your family. Like, that is bad.
He did.
Yeah.
Now, it really is because they downplayed this too in the edit. I mean, they really... They gave it like 10 seconds of fame, and then they just fucking cut it. I mean, there was a confessional or like some sort of voiceover that said like this is really shitty. Like, why would he say that?
Brad said it, yeah.
But like let me weigh this for you. Try to take out any opinions of this matter. What is worse? Because honestly, I think that this might be one of the worst things ever said on the challenge.
Well, CT said that he would fly to Kansas and murder Wes's family. That never got aired. Wes said it on the reunion, but Wes didn't seem like overly like.
If that never got aired, though, you run the risk of that being paraphrased.
Yeah, true. Like Wes was like, "That guy's not a nice guy. He said he would fly to Kansas and murder my family at the reunion or whatever." CT didn't deny it, so.
He was probably like, "Yeah, I freaking said that."
He just shot him like a.
I was thinking like, where's the line? Because people are pretty desensitized now.
Yeah.
Camilla making a racist reference or a man threatening to do harm onto someone's family.
A female's family at that, who has had a rough go of it the last year. I mean, with her father passing away and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So yeah. It's hard.
Like you look at that,
it's a slippery slope. We don't get too deep into this
because the way I'm looking at this is the Camilla thing is bad.
Camilla hit. I think Camilla was done when she assaulted the producers. That was when she was like, and she clearly showed that she was mentally unfit to like be on the show.
Yeah,
that was what did her.
And that absolutely influenced her edit for the racist remarks.
Yeah.
And then writing her off the show afterwards.
They didn't even air the worst of what she said either.
Yeah. But it's just the way I look at this is that's like these singular racist remarks towards one person or threatening a one person's entire like livelihood of their surroundings, of the people that bring them comfort and joy. And this got downplayed like it was just some sort of run-in-the-mill moment. This just got its flash in the pan. This should have been edited up to a Camilla saying racist remarks level. This should have been the freaking... So? If you're going to edit Camilla like that, you gotta, it's like NFL dishing out unfair punishments that don't seem to correlate or match. If that's going to be the standard, this needed to match the standard.
I could see it.
Because that was really bad.
He didn't seem drunk. It wasn't like some drunken like argument thing either.
I didn't think he was drunk at all.
Just in cold-blooded with a bunch of dudes around him having conversation.
Yeah, that was like I lost a lot of respect for Hunter saying that. that's too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, the Ashley and Hunter situation. I mean, it goes both ways. Both of them have done and said shitty things. They're a bit of a mess as a team.
They both definitely have done and said shitty things, for sure. The easy answer here would be Ashley's more on the done shitty thing side, and Hunter's more on the said shitty thing side. But altogether, they're just a really shitty pairing that is not working together well at all.
Yeah.
Keep in mind they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose the Faith and Angela.
I said they would make the final last episode.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Actually, didn't threaten to quit once this episode.
Yeah, that was an upgrade on that. Sure.
She didn't say it.
But
so.
they were one busted nail away from losing.
Yeah.
So they are just not. They're not up to par right now.
I feel like I would take. Yeah, I think you got to take Jocelyn Sylvie over them for now. Just the communication is much better with those two. And even Shane and Nelson, they might be the weakest of the Lavender ladies right now, just because their communication is just a mess. And you saw it in the challenge. So we get the conversation with Bananas and Cara. Nothing super of note here. I'm just bored of Bananas and Cara, to be frank.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nothing.
But
nothing
Bananas
much.
is basically saying that he's definitely not going to tell anybody who he's voting in, which I think is the right way to go about it.
Yeah, what we got out of this segment was Bananas isn't going to tell anybody who he's voting for, and he's not voting for Cara.
Yeah. So then we get to a scene that you thought was hilarious: the Lavender ladies in the bathroom, and Shane is just in the tub, Ashley with like a gold mask on.
It's just Shane. Just Shane. He's just awesome.
And he comes up with this like elaborate thing where he's like, okay, you two, you've got to burn on this, you burn on this, you two vote here, you two vote here, and and then they show everyone in their confessionals just looking incredibly confused and bewildered.
The edit for this was really good because they started like overlaying the audio and like putting an echo effect on it. Like it was just all of this mismatch blur, and it was just going away right over their heads. And but he did lay down the law off screen, and it was a pretty smart, sophisticated burn system.
Yeah. Like after all this, Amanda just goes, "We need to get a piece of paper."
Yeah.
And then I feel like, do they even get to get pieces of paper and to write stuff anymore? Like,
wait,
I feel like that's something they still like wouldn't give them just because they're assholes.
You know what? Are you the one?
You know what? Are you the one? You're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to have paper. Because, they worried about like passing notes.
Well, because the point of it is like you have to find your match, and like they want you to do it through like actual like connections and talking to people. But if you break it down to a math equation, you could figure it out. So they don't let them like write stuff down or like, because if they did, then they're afraid that they would just find it out through math and then they would get it.
Oh,
and it would defeat the purpose of the show.
Does it really literally come down to a math equation?
Yes, pretty much. Unless you get lucky, like with a few like truth booths or like people actually, because usually when people are like, oh they're like, oh we're in love right away, almost never actually a match. Mm-hmm. Like that never happens. And then the storyline is, oh, they'll find out they're not a match and then they'll still be together all season, and it creates a bunch of drama because other people want to talk to them and they're just not associating. That happens every season. It's always a plot point.
Wasn't Devin on that show?
Yeah, see, what Devin did was he cheated the system. He had like...
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so the point is you had like these beams every week to indicate how many matches you got. And what he did was he literally just took like these red solo cups and laid them out as like to interpret it. Okay, these are the beams for these weeks. So everybody who sat next to each other on these weeks stand up next to each other, and we're gonna figure this out. And they got it by the last day.
So he cracked the code.
He won them. He really was the mastermind behind winning them the $1 million. It was only $750,000 actually because it blacked out, but you don't even know how either one. It's the strategy part to it is actually kind of fun.
Wasn't Chuck on that episode or on the season?
Yes, a lot of people were on that season. Amanda, Nelson,
Hunter.
Season
2?
Season 3.
Season 3.
Amanda, Nelson, Hunter, Cheyenne, Brittany, Chuck, Devin.
I think I definitely asked you this, but who was on Are You the One Season 1 that translated challenge? Wasn't it like one or two people?
Simone, John, Adam, and Brittany from...
Oh, more. I thought it was only a couple people. What was the season that only like one or two came off?
Tori was the only one from Season 4.
Okay.
I believe Derek and Cam and Alicia were from Season 5.
Is there a season 6?
Yeah, and no one from season 6 is on, and season 7 is airing now. So
you think anyone from season 6?
I don't know. I feel like they
or is it
kind of
just a weak season.
I feel like they kind of shunned it. Although some of those people are going to be on X on the Beach US. So, which by the way, Farrah is on, which I'm not happy about.
She's on X on the Beach.
She's on X, so you know they're going to give her as much screen time as possible.
Like you mean like the teen mom?
Yeah, teen mom Farrah.
Farrah Abraham? Is that her name?
Yep. She's on it, and she's gonna fucking dominate the camera time.
Oh yeah. And then she's gonna end up on the challenge.
Oh god.
Is she fit enough?
No.
I don't know.
I feel like they wouldn't put someone on who has like porn videos out there, but who knows?
I mean, they did that with
Dustin.
Dustin, yeah.
True.
I don't think they care.
Farrah's like
MTV reality.
I feel like Farrah's
TV.
too high profile for like something like that for the challenge. She wouldn't be able to stay in the house without her phone or without all this other stuff. She'd quit or like freak out. And
you're right. She is too high profile probably for the show.
But we get to the voting, and the voting is pretty nondescript. I was surprised by a few of these. I'm surprised that Jose and Devon, I guess, are still a rogue team because they voted for Zach and Amanda just as a revenge plot. They weren't involved in anyone's like burn vote system.
Yeah, they're still fully gone rogue.
Bananas and Tony also voted for, or Brad and Kyle voted for Zach and Amanda, and they vote for Brad and Kyle. I think they did. It's weird how they switched up like this because before it was Joss and Sylvia burning on Brad and Kyle, but now it was Zach and Amanda. So I don't know. They didn't really talk about who was voting for who much. It just kind of happened the way it did. The only interesting thing I noted here was Nelson thinks Shane is making a great point about how Nelson is like thinks he's cool with everybody and everyone's gonna have his back, and that's just not the case.
Yeah,
which is sad because poor Nelson.
But he wants to think of the best of
Nelson
everybody.
has never been in a good position in the game like politically. He's always getting thrown into eliminations. On every season he's been on.
Yeah, this is the first time.
This is the first one on this season, but on last season he got thrown in a bunch.
No, but I'm saying this is the first time he's been on like a team.
Yeah. Well, him and Amanda were a team. That was a while ago, but they were like the black sheep, being a replacement on that season.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying that I should say because he's inadvertently a part of the Lavender Ladies. Yeah,
well, the Lavender Ladies and the Young Bucks are kind of like duo, like they're paired, they're combined because Nelson and Hunter are already with Shane and Ashley, so they're and then Joss is kind of one of them too.
When Devin and Corey make an appearance, if the other two are still in the main house, there's going to be a full Young Bucks.
A full Lavender Lady and Young Bucks all in the house at the same time. This late. That's pretty impressive.
This late.
I mean, I know they got to waltz in this late, but...
And on a season that only started with one Young Buck on the roster.
Yeah, they did get lucky there that both of them got to come in late, but they wanted to make sure Corey had to make could show up because, he went home first last time, so...
Yeah.
Got to get him in there. So, and let's go to the Armageddon, where it is revealed that it is a three-way tie with Shane and Nelson having 2, Zach and Amanda had 2, and I believe Jose and Devon were the other ones that had 2.
Yes, they were.
So Bananas and Tony, no questions asked. Shane and Nelson, you're going in. And then this is where the big moment happens. I thought they were going to take... I figured they would take Jose and Devon.
Well, okay, so when they light up the boards for who chose them, it was Jose and Devon and Brad and Kyle.
It was just Bananas and Tony.
Okay, yes.
And then TJ said they could pick anyone.
Oh, yes, they could pick anyone.
I thought they were going to call Jose and Devon, but they got some cojones.
Well, I think that if you look at this, they're not going to attack any Lavender Ladies team. So there's 3 off the board. Bananas and Tony, the 4th team off the board.
So
they are the 5th team. So that leaves 3 teams. Cara Marie, Anne Marie, Jose and Devon, and Brad and Kyle.
And I gotta give them credit. No hesitation. Just like immediately, we're gonna take Brad and Kyle out.
Yeah, immediately. I believe it was Shane that said, all right, we either got to go Jose or Devon or Brad and Kyle.
Yeah.
Like Cara Marie Carter Marie and Marie were just right off the table immediately. And that's when Nelly was like, oh, we'll go big or we go home. And you know what? This is a very rare thing. This kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore, where these guys, they wanted a challenge, they didn't want to skate by, and they also believed that these rookies had proven themselves. They had been in there, 3 times?
Yeah. Including, with the redemptions, yeah.
Yeah, 3 times. These two deserve a break. Let's get this show on the road. You got to take out the heavy hitter sometime.
Mm-hmm. So, Brad and Kyle.
So they made a risky move.
And that's what's cool about this. I know a lot of people don't like this elimination format, but how it's not. It's like kind of like tricky stuff, like the elimination we got tonight, not like physical headbanger type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But it allows people to be, I think, not less afraid when it goes to calling someone out, because you know that you're gonna have a chance to. Almost anyone could beat anyone in these games.
Well, I think I think that that's great and all. But I also believe that that's not the intention of why the producers are putting this in. The producers are putting this in because it's just well-rounded eliminations. You have to be good at everything if you think that you're gonna if you think that you're gonna win at everything.
But that's good for the competition aspect, and the fact that you have a call-out system, people aren't afraid. Like on
it's an inadvertent effect of this.
Because if they had to do that one on where you remember the one where you like the hall brawl where you run down the hallway?
Yeah.
If it was something like that where it was a 2-on-2, you wouldn't want to go against Brad and Kyle if you were Shane and Nelson.
No.
Shane is historically really bad in physical stuff, but putting a ball in a hole while balancing on a treadmill is definitely you take your chances at that.
Yeah, I think this is something that he ran a good risk of like someone like Brad being like kind of like an oafy guy that like he would like be messing up his coordination
and
on this.
As Kara said, Kyle's first ever elimination.
Being inexperienced.
Yeah.
This is definitely not one of those just like anyone can do a physical challenge. It just depends on how good you are at it. Like it's not a hard concept. There's very little strategy to it. Mm-hmm. However, I will say if you chose Jose and Davon in this, they very well could have been like sneaky good at it.
Yeah, I think they would have done better, honestly.
You think so?
Because spoiler alert, Shane and Nelson win 10-3. They really smoked them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
So Jay and Davon, I think, would have gotten. I feel like they have some level of smarts to them and would have gotten at least like 6 or 7 before.
Mm. So you still think that Nelly and Shane would have won?
Nelly and Shane would have won. But...
Yeah, they really had that down locked. They were not dropping balls after the second or third. It was just like
I don't think Nelson fell once. The clumsiest guy on the show, and he was the only guy that wasn't tripping over himself in this challenge.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was a great episode for the Lavender ladies. This episode,
yeah, they're
Lavender losers, but this episode they were the Lavender winners.
I guess they were. I mean, I just kind of figured it was. If they're winners, they're the Lavender ladies, and if they're losers, they're the Lavender losers. Like they don't have to. They don't have to. Well, I just said that
because it's obvious that Mr. Salty Pants Bananas is the one who's just calling them the Lavender losers because he's got nothing better to say. It's like being a fan of the Giants and like, oh, I'm gonna be funny. I'm gonna call them the Cowgirls. It's like not clever at all. You're just saying that because you don't like them and you can't think of something like cooler.
Give me another.
I don't know.
Putting me on the spot.
That was the best one.
Think of like a baseball one.
A baseball, like the Red Sox. Yeah.
The Red Sox.
The Red Sox. Yeah, that's good. Like just something so tame and uncreative. Like.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The Red Sox. I've never heard anyone say. Have you ever heard?
Oh, I've seen shirts of like, Boston Red Sox. It's like they're like troll shirts of like Yankees attire, and it says like Boston. Did you ever see the one where it's like says like it's like a picture of the Red Sox logo, and then it's just like a Yankee fan pissing on it? It's just a picture.
Yeah. Well,
and it's like ass crack.
Yeah, I've seen it. Doesn't he have like the? He has like the team as a tramp stamp, or is he just like wearing the hat or something?
I think it's a hat.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've also seen it vice versa, where the Red Sox fan is peeing on the Yankees.
But this is where going back to the voting system is what I wanted to make a point about. Is as interesting and as unique as this voting concept is, it's kind of been a disappointment in that teams just don't want to go into elimination. Understandable when you're playing for $1 million. So they're trying to figure out any way possible to burn their vote so that they can skate through without having to be even considered in the elimination. I think it would have been better if, because the last 2 times it was a tie, the person got to pick from all the teams, and that was far more interesting. So I think it would have been better if it was just that system from the jump, if that's just what it had been this entire time. Because after the only problem with that is that you risk them just calling out the weakest person every time. But seeing what Shane and Nelson weren't afraid to take that shot because they didn't want to pick a team that they're in an alliance with. So it really shakes it up. Like, what happens next week if Tony Bananas gets sent in? They get to pick from all the teams. Who are they going to pick? It's an interesting choice. Because they don't want to take a team that, like Jose and Devon, would be an easy win for them potentially, but it's like they're kind of on have our back. He would want to call out one of the Lavender Lady teams. So I think that is the more interesting.
Jose and Devon probably, if they were voted and got the choice to vote for anybody, they probably would have chose Zach and Amanda.
They did vote for Zach and Amanda.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they got voted
won the challenge. Oh, they would have called them out. You think?
Do you think they would have?
I feel like they wussed out last time. I feel like maybe.
Or do you think they're gonna go Cara and?
I feel like they may have went Shane and Nelson.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would have went Zach and Amanda.
Because I was just gonna offer up to you. Do you think
they wouldn't have bitched out? They would have picked.
Do you think they would have beat Zach and Amanda
on this?
I think they could have.
The height difference in them could have screwed up. Could have messed with them.
Caused some problems.
Yeah, because he's like a foot taller than her. So
you think?
But they're both smart. So
Zach would have also definitely taken at least a bail or two.
Yeah,
he would have definitely gone down.
Yeah. Well, and that was the elimination. Brad and Kyle, very salty after losing this elimination. Felt like Nelson did them dirty. Even though, again, look at the alliance setup in the house, Brad and Kyle. Like, did you really think that they would have your back?
Open your dang eyes.
Did you really think? And this is great for them. Take out Brad and Kyle, and now the shot is there at Bananas. He's basically by himself now. Because Brad and Kyle were kind of on his side.
He needs to start buddying up with Jose and Devon.
Well, he has, but what power is Jose and Devon going to have in this game?
They're
the only teams that aren't against Bananas at this point are Jose and Devon and Cara Marie. That's it. Mm-hmm. Every other team is against him.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of trouble. And Cam and Kaylee have made threats from redemption. So
for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, you never know. Did we go? What happened after this? We go to. Oh, Kyle left Cara a necklace. Again, this guy just will not let it go. And Cara will not let it go.
They really won't.
And Marie's the only one with a fucking brain here. She's just like, this is bullshit, Cara. Don't fall for this crap. And yeah, that was really it for this scene. I don't remember what else was said, but Cara's still sitting there like, this is so sweet. Oh my god, he's still thinking of me. And it's just like, this will never end.
I don't know what Kyle's thinking here. Well, Kyle cannot help himself with the lady.
And Cara can't help herself with like trusting him and thinking that he still cares about her.
This guy really knows how to work the system. This dude's got freaking game.
Massive player.
He's such a player.
We go to the Redemption House, and teams are pretty shook by Brad and Kyle's arrival. Cam and Kaylee are pretty shook by Brad and Kyle's arrival. And as Natalie and Paulie are sitting up in their twin-sized, their twin bed pushed together.
Yeah, pushed together like they're a married couple from the 50s. Like up from a 50s sitcom. Like, time to push the beds together.
And Paulie's just like, Brad and Kyle are here. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
He's so dramatic.
It's such corny. It's so corny. It's like, this is a movie from like the 1980s. Like, revenge is a dish best served cold. And then what does he do after this? He walks downstairs, sits down, and says nothing to them.
Yeah, which is funny because, you'd think that with all of his talk that he would blow up or something. And it makes him kind of look like a wimp. But this is the best move here. You should not have blown up. These guys Brad and Kyle need to cool off before you confront this.
And they were going right at Kaylee, like, your boyfriend's done. We're taking him out when we go back. And then Brad says the dumbest thing. It is like, never should you say after somebody beats you at something that they're not even that good at the challenge. After they just beat you at something.
Also,
you're only making yourself look worse.
Also,
because one, you look like a delusional idiot for saying, first of all, because he's clearly good if he was good enough to beat you, if you say that you're good. But it also makes you look, if you say he's not that good and then he beat you, what does that say about you as a competitor?
On top of the fact that this is like saying Bananas isn't good at the challenge. Because this dude is 7-1 in eliminations.
Yes.
Like, of course he's really good at eliminations. You can't say that. He's proven.
They need to start highlighting this, like, because he's getting up there. I mean, they highlighted the fact that Laura was 9-0. And I think Nelson, especially like Nelson, doesn't have a lot else going for him. It's like he's fine, but like this could really be his thing. Like, oh, he's just the elimination beast. You never want to see him, but they don't really talk him up like that.
No, they don't. And people always also think about sending him in.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna actually leave.
Well, because he's not.
Because think about this. Think about the girls' end. No one ever even thought about sending Laurel in.
No.
Because it was just game over.
On free agents, they did. They threw her in a bunch of times.
Well, whatever. But
But she went against Jasmine.
Poor Jazzy. But like, you could do this because. To my knowledge, did Nelly lose his first elimination?
It was a second.
It was a second. So he's on a 6 elimination win streak.
3 eliminations on Invasion to go to the finals. 1 on Dirty 30 and then got himself kicked off, which I think he would have won more on that season if he didn't get himself kicked off. I really do. And then Vendettas, he won and had the tie with Darrell. Where hanging in there an hour long with Darrell, who was brought in specifically to take him out, is pretty impressive. Only got eliminated on some crappy truck purge thing at the end where they just decided that the last place person had to go.
That was just a classic. Nelly, you gotta go.
Yeah. Brutal.
But basically, so that means he is 6-0-1 in his last 7 eliminations.
Yep. He's never lost one-on-one. This is a team challenge, so that doesn't really matter here, but still.
It's something, you're right, it should be talked about. This could be like his niche thing.
Like, elimination records are kind of becoming an extinct thing to look at to gauge a competitor from the standpoint of like all these random purges. Like Jenna has gone home 3 times. Her last 3 appearances has not lost an elimination to go home. But the one time she actually did lose an elimination during that season, she got a redemption to come right back afterwards. So, like, it's just so weird the way the game is set up right now. Like, you can't really, like, use it to... But Nelson has proven to be, like, ridiculously good.
How many seasons have you ever seen someone lose, like, where their record by the end of the show could be, like, 1-2?
There's a lot of people, in one season?
In one season.
Never. Until, like, 2 seasons. Until Redemption became a thing.
Until this season.
Yeah. Well, because we were counting the Redemption...
Paulie and Natalie are what, 0-2 right now?
0-3.
0-3.
Yes.
They're still in the game.
Yes, we talked about
this. And if they win and get back into the game...
Oh, wait, we didn't really talk about that because we didn't recap that episode. We didn't talk about the absurdity of that.
They could potentially be...
If there's a 4th redemption.
Say if they go in... They're right now 0-3.
Yeah.
Say if they go in to this next a redemption challenge and they lose, but then that would send them back into the redemption house, or even if that sends them home, they would have went 0-4 in a season. That's absurd. How many times has someone lost twice to get eliminated from a season?
Anissa.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be
but Anissa won, and Anissa won something to get back. Like, she lost elimination, had a chance to win a redemption to get back, won the redemption, then she lost.
So what was her record that year?
So it was 1-2.
1-2.
Yeah, with a redemption win in there.
These people are 0-3 and still in the game because of the way that the producers have structured this.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It would be so much. They don't need to do any of this either. Like, it would be all that would happen now is we'd have 2 less teams in the game. and the season would be flowing much more smoothly if Paulie and Natalie had just gone home when they had lost that first redemption.
Right. You're right. And
the double crossing in itself is ridiculous because it's all luck just to even have a chance. But like the fact that it's all luck and then those teams go home without even getting to compete. But then if you do get to compete and then you lose, you still don't go home.
You still say that. Yeah, it's absurd.
It's a mess. I just pray that the team that ends up coming out on top in this is not a team that benefited from that bullshit. Like it's a team that actually played the best game all season. Never was like eliminated, won challenges all season. And Zach and Amanda right now, or even Sylvie and Joss really. Those two are like my two favorites right now.
Just the 0 and 0ers.
Joss Sylvie won elimination. That you forgot last episode too, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
They had an elimination?
Yes, they won an elimination.
Right. Oh, the wall. Yeah. So forgettable.
It was like 2 seconds.
It was Tori and Derek. Like, come on.
All right, well, let's get to the challenge. Challenge was called Caged In. So you had these one partner went in a cage with the key on top, and their other partner had to go and retrieve tree branches in order for them to fish out the key and drop it in.
And they gave them twine so they would build this contraption to do it.
Yeah.
But this ended up being used by Marie and I don't know, maybe someone else, because most of them just grabbed a big enough branch that they could reach it in one go. For example, who was first out? Tony and Bananas. Yep. It was just one big branch.
Tony's
I believe Zach and Amanda were also one big branch.
And so was Jose and Devon, as we saw with Jose trying to chuck a branch in there while Devon was already out and opening the cage.
Absolutely hilarious.
And they air the confessional of Devon like Jose in the confessional while he's like talking about the situation.
It was ridiculous, incredibly funny. Just like
you love Jose.
I really do. They're a very fun pair.
They're like the team that's now at a point where you could see them potentially making it to the end because teams aren't going to they're going to kind of skate through potentially as these bigger teams pick each other off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like
they made it through the rookie kill phase.
Exactly. They made it through the rookie kill phase. They've already been targeted before. Mm-hmm. So if Amanda and Zach don't target them next week, then that is great for them going forward. They have to survive. If there's another purge, they'd have to get through that, which would be tricky because there wouldn't be a lot of weak teams at that point. But the fact that they have now outlasted Brad and Kyle in the main house is pretty incredible, given where they were at, like socially or like politically in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they did really well in this challenge too. They got second. And the point of it, there was a puzzle at the end, and they had all this writing on the wall in graffiti in the cage. So I feel like it was obvious foreshadowing. Amanda's the only person that they show actually like making this a point. It's like, oh, I see all this stuff on the wall. This is probably going to be important.
Which made me think that she was the only person that noticed, but that clearly wasn't the case.
Didn't every team have to go back?
I don't think so. Jose and Devon didn't.
Maybe Jose and Devon didn't, but like I feel like every other team had to go back.
Who finished third?
I don't even remember. Maybe like Joss and Sylvia or somebody.
I believe Bananas and Tony
finished fifth. I think.
Fifth?
Yeah.
Fifth? Oh,
Tony ran all the way, had to go all the way back, like, and I think he had to make 2 runs. I don't remember.
It was probably one. That run looked like it was really long.
But while some teams took forever to struggle to get out of this cage, Zach and Amanda right down there. Amanda knew right away what the 3 answers were, and they win the challenge. And Amanda's making sure to let everyone know that she was the reason that they won that challenge.
Yeah. She's playing up the fact that she was able to guess that these words written here probably meant something, considering he said that there would be a puzzle at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Which it is interesting because it seems as a viewer from home, it seems so obvious. But when you're in that challenge and you got a lot of stress going on, and now you're thinking one step at a time, gotta unlock this door, like you don't even notice there's shit writing on the wall. And I imagine that probably happens all the time. So from my view right here, it seems like, well, no duh, Amanda, and I'm sure a lot of other people noticed it too, but People had some major problems. So
Yeah,
I mean, when you're in the moment, it's a different
Tony was
story.
trying to pass the blame on Bananas for not like telling him like, you've done like 17 challenges, man. Why do you not? How do you not think of this?
That was kind of funny, and even though it was kind of funny, and you can't rely on that, I also was thinking after he said that in his confessional, like, yeah, why the hell did Bananas not tell him that? Like, did Bananas really not notice that? Like, come on, you're Bananas. Figure this shit out. Like, it was kind of funny that I like.
It was
like,
only 3 questions too. Like, it wasn't like a hard thing.
No, there's probably like there's a lot of like nonsense graffiti, but it looked like there were maybe 8 to 10 actual things on the wall that could be something that wasn't nonsense, and then they had to answer 3 of them, and it looked like every puzzle at the end was the same, just with different names and numbers. But it was the same 3. But it was the same 3 questions: who was last in, how many days, and then whatever.
But that's smart. It means they've learned their lesson from past challenges where people would cheat off each other.
Yeah.
That they didn't do the exact same puzzle.
Yeah.
So good on them. But I don't remember the placings. I know that.
However,
you even mentioned.
However, it does ruin the whole when someone creates something when they like just in the glory of completion, they just flip their board or like knock over their totem,
that is a good visual.
And just like dive through all their shit and knock it over like it's a pile of papers.
Bananas is notorious for that. He always like just flips everything.
I was thinking of like CT.
Oh, CT.
Like, CT
would like
his shit.
I think on Dirty 30 when he finishes, he like gave it a big boot or something.
Wasn't one I think it was in a challenge when they had to like make a star out of the logs.
What challenge was that?
I think it was in in the final.
They
had to, like, do a log thing, and like I think at the end, like CT was like just ripping these logs apart, just throwing this crap. Was that 30-30?
Yeah, I think there was something with logs, and he was like partnered with Tori.
Yeah, he was just ripping it apart. And I love when they do that stuff.
So, we didn't even mention, but producers were very clearly upset about the lack of effort on the last challenge. So they're like, all right, we're enforcing something for the last place team here because we want everybody to actually try on this.
Right.
Which I feel like I wish this would have been in place all season, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like it took a real long time for them to realize that people
there's certain challenges where they're set up to where you can't really do that, like the ones that were team challenges where you picked like the winning team. But, like challenges like this where it's like a race or it's like a timed thing, it makes perfect sense, honestly. Yeah, I thought he was going to say that they're going into elimination.
Yeah, because once one team makes it, like no one's gonna you have no ambition to try.
Exactly.
What does it matter at that point?
So I believe Cara, Marie, and Ashley and Hunter were the last 2. Ashley was standing at the puzzle waiting for Hunter to come, and he's just like taking his sweet ass time.
He was walking. That dude was gassed.
Yeah. So hopefully not a good sign, but hopefully he wasn't taking it that seriously because he knew he kind of had it in the bag at that point. Cara, Marie, and I don't think they ever end up getting out of the cage.
What are you talking about now?
Did they?
They very much did, and it really came down to the wire. Because you were saying, I think you said that Hunter thought he had it in the bag. That was not true.
Oh, was he really?
When he was walking, Cara and Marie asked for a check.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
That's how close it really was. But, so Hunter really, he would have really looked like a real bozo if they asked for that check and got it right, and he was sitting there walking when he knew the answers.
Yeah.
He would have really looked like a dummy.
But Cara and Marie get last, so they will have the disadvantage on the next challenge.
So let's just throw them in as a possible, like, bottom 3.
Yeah. Well, the thing is Marie and Cara probably aren't going to be a threat to win any challenges.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't even been close to winning any of them.
I'm just hoping that the repercussion doesn't... of last place isn't in the next challenge, because then Cara and Marie have a really good chance of just getting double up. Yeah, double last. Up.
Maybe the one after that will be a purge challenge, and then it'll really fuck you.
Yeah, I hope.
Imagine having a disadvantage on a purge challenge.
I hope they're thinking ahead where they don't put the stipulation on a purge challenge, like on one that would be leading into a purge challenge.
Anyway, Kara is blaming Marie, and just as they were starting to get on the same page, Marie and Kara, it all falls apart for them.
Kara was blaming herself, and Marie was like, "Bish, I know this means that you're blaming me, and you're just trying to sound like the better woman. I ain't taking this shit." And she's like, "Girl, what you talking about?" And he's like, "I'm just saying that it's my fault." And she's like, it makes me feel bad. Don't hurt my feelings." It was just like a really weird thing.
Well, Kara's been subtly saying shit about Marie all season about how she's not trying and things. So
there were many basket references.
And Marie is very aware that Kara is probably talking shit about her in like her interviews about how like she's not good at like challenges. Mm-hmm. So like that, I think she knows what's up. Like, and she had a feeling that Kara was gonna somehow spin that on her like in the moment, even if she didn't.
Yeah, but that's definitely the case.
I'll get to this in a moment.
However, there's been a noticeable lack of Pizza Monster references this season. I need more Marie stealing pizza references.
Well, there hasn't been any pizza in the house. Maybe when there is, they'll say something.
I think Little Caesars needs to hit up South Africa.
What a promotion, Little Caesars! Next challenge, the winner's gonna get free Little Caesars for a year.
Was there a sponsor for the pizza last year, or was it just local pizza?
Just pizza from Spain.
Okay, I thought it was sponsored, like the BK rides.
The BK thing was ridiculous.
That was the greatest challenge to win ever.
The greatest striker.
Oh my god, was that the one?
Talk about a sausage fest too. Brad, Zach, and Tony.
Was that the one that they did the water?
Yeah, that was that one. Yeah, that was one where nobody could swim. Devin was just laughing at him.
Because his feet tied.
So, that is
still hilarious. That is still the most one-sided competition in challenge history.
So that's gonna do it for the episode. And as the clock strikes midnight, it's actually 30 minutes past midnight now, but we will enter the sauna.
Here we are.
And
it's not that hot.
And my hot take will extend off of a point I was going to make a minute ago, but I'll say it here. Out of everyone remaining in the game, I truly believe that Cara Maria is the worst partner. Like, I'm not talking about competitively. Competitively, she's great. But in terms of, like, encouragement and being grateful and trustworthy and loyal, she has not exhibited any of this towards Marie. And I feel bad for Marie, I really do. Because she's doing the best she can with what she has. It's kind of like...
Yeah, and it's a good thing to say the worst existing partner.
Yeah,
like because currently here.
It's hard for me to argue against Derek and Veronica for that.
Queen V.
But again, Marie is being held to...
At least Derek tried. Always.
Yeah.
Put his heart and soul into everything he does.
Didn't work out for him, but I mean, we've seen it. It's been a thing all season. I mean, the fact that they're bickering already and like back on bad terms again, even after what happened last episode when Marie totally had her back.
All right, so I just made a comparison in my brain that is completely irrelevant.
Is it a sports comparison?
No, it's about how Kyle gave Cara his necklace and rings and was like, as his sign of still caring, like, I know you're the one. It's like just like Derek. Ugh. Derek when he gave his necklace.
You've never even seen that. I just told you the story.
Is so funny.
When he gave the girl his Jesus necklace, he's like, "I'm your match." He's like, "I'm giving this to you as a sign of good fortune because I just know we're a match and we're gonna win this $1 million." And then they don't win the $1 million. The only season in RE1 history to not win. And then they edit it to make it seem like it's all Derek's fault. And the season ends with just him sitting in shame on the staircase outside, looking dejected and down and all depressed. And it just
weren't they also not a match?
Yeah, they were one of the 3 matches that was wrong. He just says, "I'll let him down. I'll let him down."
Pretty sure we've already told the story, but every time I think that story is so great.
Derek and Shannon.
Yeah. Oh my god,
he gave her the
great.
Jesus necklace.
I know you my match.
So bad, but the poor dude just cannot catch a break. X on the Beach was his one shining moment. He somehow managed to stay the entire house. He just came in episode 1 and he was there the entire time despite Angela wanting to vote him out every week. Even when no one, it's gonna take multiple votes to cut somebody with this setup. Angela would just be like, "Derek, you're fucking cut," and would put the thing in, thinking that she's actually gonna do something.
Wasn't there an Are You the One best of
Second chances,
yeah. And wasn't he first out?
Derek was on that with his match from that show that he had gotten wrong, so he was with his actual match,
his real match.
Yeah, and they got eliminated first. Because the challenge was you had to go in the city and find directions to get to the house, and the last team to the house was up for the elimination, and they got last. Of course, Devin got first in that challenge, the smart man that he is.
Sure
he won the whole challenge. He won the whole season. So
Devin, the best person to come out of Are You the One?
Devin is the king of Are You the One.
Yeah,
no one's a close second.
Really?
Yes.
King of Are You the One?
Yeah, he's the poster child.
Boy.
He won he was the most prominent person on his show by far. He was the reason they won the $1 million. And then he went on the spin-off show and was the main star that entire time, and won was almost 200,000 on that. And he split the money with his partner at the end.
Like a good guy.
Like a good dude. Proved that he wasn't a hypocrite when he had shamed Bananas for it for that long. Had put in the exact same position and didn't do it. And the funny thing is that it was a prisoner's dilemma situation. So his partner actually could have stolen from him if she had hit the steal button. Because the point of it was, if you both hit share, then you just share the money. If one person hits steal and one hits share, the person who hits steal gets all the money. And then if you both hit steal, you get none. And then the second place team gets all your money, which would have been Tori in her match, which Devin beat in that final, by the way. Well, that was my first hot take. Cara Maria, crappy partner.
Here, I got one for you.
If you can get along with her, then she might be okay. But
here's a take. Maybe I'll do 2 in a row because this one's it's a little light. But I literally wrote it during the show, not the challenge show, but our podcast, when we were talking about everybody being wimpy wimps and burning votes because there's so much money at stake. Of all the seasons to keep the cash the secret, this was the one to do it. This year, this season, they should not have told them the cash purse. Which I was really mad about when they didn't do that. Was that Dirty 30 or Vendettas?
Dirty 30, they didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
They said it's the dirtiest game of all time, but then they didn't encourage the people to play dirty.
Yes. And that one was one that the money should have been there to encourage people to play dirty.
And then they told them at the most random time where it didn't matter. They told them at a point where it was just going to be all competition based from that point on to see who made the final. There was no politics.
And this is one that they should have kept it a secret so people would be a little more bold, because everyone is playing safe. This is too much money to mess up. So I'm gonna hit you with one with that's a little bit hotter. And I got this. When Devin and Corey return, they will lose to Jose and Devon. Now, the reason why I added that is because I originally did have a take that Devin and Corey will come back and immediately get sent to redemption. God bless.
Yeah, you said that. You said that a while back, I think.
Yeah, I said that. So I am now adding a specification to it that it will be to Jose and Devon.
All right.
So I'm just
I
adding
can see
that.
there's a strong chance they're the team that gets voted in next week. So
yeah, so that's something I wrote this before Zach and Amanda even won, and Zach and Amanda are their number one pick. It seems over the past few weeks has been Jose and Devon.
Because they keep coming back from all these twists and nonsense it's been going on.
Yeah. So you got another take?
I do. This was my favorite episode of the season. It just felt like the challenge.
Now, is this your favorite episode or the best episode?
I don't know if it was the objective best, but it might have been the objective. Some people might consider it the objective best. The old schooler people that like the more traditional style. It wasn't the start with a challenge, go into the elimination format. But I mean, that is completely dead and gone. So this is what you're going to get, and it didn't end on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big move made in the elimination. Solid challenge. Not too overwhelming in the drama department. A lot of talk about politics and voting, a lot of game related conversation. I digged it. So this was my favorite episode of the season. I really liked it.
All right. I would say if I had to throw in some input on my favorite episode of the season, that would have to be the Kill a Cam episode.
That's fair. Kill a Cam episode was like even faster moving than this.
Yeah. So is that your last take that you got? Okay, so these takes so far have been a little chilly. They've been a little safe. But your boy has got some blazing takes. Don't you worry. First things first, I decided that I was going to make a hot takes final. I have predicted the final teams for, the final. And I have chosen Paulie and Natalie, who will be returning from Redemption and sneaking their way into that final. Shane and Nelly.
You've been on that all year, and the dream is still alive.
Shane and Nelly, because Shane and Nelson are known to choke right before a final. Something goes wrong. They lose an elimination if you're Shane. You get kicked off the show if you're Nelly. Of both those guys, total of, 15 seasons combined. How many finals have they made? One?
Yeah.
One.
Like Nelson tried to use that in the confessional. Like, I've been to a final, Shane. He's like, yeah, because of me.
Which was
Shane was
true.
Nelson had to win eliminations though. The thing is, but Shane was the one running the alliance that season with Nelson in it. It was the same alliance as what's going on here. It's weird how it's like almost the exact same thing. The same people: Ashley, Amanda, Sylvia, Hunter. All of them were also there on Invasion, and now they're all teamed up.
Mm-hmm. So those two, I got Joss and Sylvia, which isn't super hot, but they haven't really done much this season, so you never know. Apparently they're in elimination. Brian tells me a lot, but I don't remember.
Well, who was in elimination?
Joss and Sylvia.
They went into one elimination.
And throwing it out there, Jose and Davon getting their way into that final because the rookie kill phase is over. It's time to bring what the big teams.
You think they're gonna make the final?
Yeah, at 4
so
teams.
You think that 4 teams? No, it's 2 Big Brother teams in the final. That is bold.
Bold picks
that
over
is
here.
Scorching.
I'm just saying. I feel like Paulie and Natalie, Shane and Nelly are like locks. I feel like Josh and Sylvia have a good chance. And I'm throwing Jose and Davon in because there comes a time now that the rookie kill phase is over that these strong teams want a quote unquote layup in the final.
You want me to make a prediction? I'll say all of the Lavender Lady teams except for Amanda and Zach, because I've been on record of saying that I think they're the team that gets screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So Joss and Sylvia, Ashley, Hunter, Shane and Nelson, and then I'll throw in. I'll throw in Cara Marie. Why not?
Really?
Yeah. Why not?
You're just throwing that in because it was the first team that came up in your head. There's no way they're making it.
You sure? I mean, they could. They could get. I could see a situation where it gets down to the end, and they're ultimately. I could see Jose and Yvonne getting purged. Natalie and Paulie. Everyone just hates them, so they throw them in. And then Cara and Marie are kind of the layup team at the end that gets to the final because somebody wanted to face somebody else, put somebody else against each other, and they're the team that gets in, and then they come in last by a good margin. But
if they make it, I'd be really shocked.
Because Marie is still friends with these people. Remember that.
Yeah, maybe she can skate through. But I think we're about to end on a bombshell, boys and girls.
Oh, that wasn't your last thing?
Nope. It's this bad boy. TJ will stop hosting the challenge before season 40. And what's going to happen? They're going to need a new host. Who's that host going to be, Brad? It's going to be Brad. Brad's going to come in. he's gonna host this sucker, and it's gonna be terrible.
Hot take, he's not gonna be a good cold take, he's not gonna be a good host.
He's gonna have his eyes all bugged out.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey Dave, that was a great job. You did that challenge. Oh, Bananas, you killed it today. Because Bananas will still be there, you know.
Yeah, he will be.
He'll be like almost 50.
Well, I said before season 40. At the rate that they're running, that's like 4.5 years from now.
So he'll still be like 40 at that point.
50-year-old Bananas on the show.
He'll be on the show until he's like 70. They'll still be paying him to come in.
I like how you said nice job on that challenge, Dave. Has there been a Dave on the challenge?
There was. I believe there was a guy named Dave who actually won a challenge back in the day.
Way
there was
back.
a David and there was a Dave. Dave was a one-time champion. I believe he's an actor now.
Ah.
And then there was a guy named David who was CT's best buddy. CT actually volunteered himself for an elimination to save David. You could do that back on the Inferno. And it was actually against Shane. Did
he kill
the elimination
Shane?
Was you had to just eat. You had these cookies and milk, and you just had to eat the cookies and drink the milk. And the first person to puke lost. That was literally the challenge.
Shane.
And Shane went for like 45 minutes or something like that. Oh, you know what it was? You ate the cookies and milk, and then you went on like a spinner thing and kind of spun around for a while, and then you dropped off, ate more, went back on the spinner thing. First person to puke lost. That was what it was.
And I assume the man with the iron,
of course,
with the lead
won.
belly,
yeah.
CT
After
won.
stepping up for his friend, taking the bullet for him.
Oh my god! What a challenge to step up.
Yeah. The eliminations that season were all of them were like 3 hours long. Like they were all like these super long endurance things.
Damn.
And the girls could go against the guys in one, and one of the girls, Katie, busted out a cig in the middle of the elimination.
She started smoking?
It was like a treadmill thing, and she buzzed out a cig and started smoking in the middle of the elimination. And then she won. She took out... David lost to Katie at the very end. And Katie was like the layup, who was like... They were all picking on her and like shitting on her all season. Like, oh, she's dragging our team down. It was mostly Veronica.
And she was singing.
It was mostly Veronica who was doing this. Because Veronica was like running her team.
Yeah.
And remember that fight when Katie and Veronica were like yelling at each other?
With the Miz in it?
Yeah, the Miz was in it. Yep. Where she has like her she doesn't have like a shirt on.
Yeah.
She's just like holding a towel, and like Katie just screaming at her.
The thing that's on every fight highlight and like that compilation ever.
It was like the culmination of like that whole season of them fighting.
Yeah. What season is that?
The Inferno 1. It was CT's first season.
Really?
Yeah. It was in like 2004, I think.
Damn.
And, yeah. So she.
Have you seen this season?
I've seen bits apart. I know what happens. I haven't seen it like all the way through. Katie ends up winning that season.
Spoiler.
It was like 8 other people who won on that team.
Spoilers.
Darrell.
Spoilers.
And Abram and a few others.
All right.
So that's gonna do it.
Sure is.
History lesson.
Yeah, that was quite the history run through right there of Inferno 1. So I think that's it. That is me, Joe Puglisi, signing off. And this is Brian Smith over here.
See ya.
Later.